Hello dear students, welcome to another lecture. In this class we are going to continue with chapter 4 of English Grammar, class 7th, Nagaland Board. Chapter is Pronouns and the kinds of pronouns. Now in the previous video we've discussed about what is a pronoun and also discussed the first type of pronoun, that was personal pronouns. In this lecture we shall begin with possessive pronouns. Now the word possessive is derived from the word possession or belongingness. Something that belongs to you, something that is your possession, is what we represent with the help of possessive pronouns. So, possessive pronouns are those pronouns which depict a possession, which depict that something belongs to you. For example, this book is mine. What is the pronoun which is telling us that this book belongs to me? The pronoun mine. This house is ours. What is the word that shows that the house belongs to us? Ours. Is this pen yours? What is the pronoun that tells whether the pen belongs to you? Yours. Is this geometry box hers? So hers is the possessive pronoun. So those pronouns in short that show that something belongs to you, something is your possession, is known as a possessive pronoun. So possessive pronoun show a possession. Usually the possessive pronouns come at the end of the sentence, as you must have seen. And after the possessive pronoun, no noun is put. For example, if I give you the examples of possessive pronouns, this house is mine. This car is hers. This dog is theirs, and so on and so on. What do you notice about the possessive pronouns? They come at the end of the sentence and there is no noun after them. So this is the last part of the sentence and that is a possessive pronoun. So let us move further. Now possessive pronouns have different types of uses. Again, a possessive pronoun can be used both as a subject as well as an object. Okay, if I say hers is a nice dog, that means the dog that belongs to her is a nice dog. Here, hers is used as a subject. So, the possessive pronoun is used as the subject. It is even used as an object, a direct object if I say, for example, she sent hers for repairing. If you look at these two sentences, here the possessive pronoun is not used at the end. Why? Because in the first sentence, the possessive pronoun is playing the role of a subject. And in the second sentence, the possessive pronoun is playing the role of a direct object. So when the possessive pronoun comes in the place of subject or in the place of a direct object, it will either come at the beginning or in the middle of the sentence. For example, if I say, yours is a better house than ours. There are two possessive pronouns, yours and ours. This yours is used as a subject, and this your ours is used as an object. So subject comes at the beginning of the sentence. We know that. That is why it came in the first position. And ours came at the end. If I give you the example of a direct object. Do you think yours is a better house? Question. So, do you think yours is a better house? Here, yours is used in the middle of the sentence because it is the direct object for you. So, when in a sentence the possessive pronoun takes the place of either the subject or it takes the place of a direct object, then in that case the possessive pronoun will come in the middle of the sentence. Let us look at some of the examples which are given in your book. This house is ours. This comes at the end. It is a favorite of theirs. It also comes at the end, right? Here in this sentence, theirs is used along with the preposition of. So this is a prepositional object. So possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives. These two topics are at times very confusing for the students. What is the difference between a possessive pronoun and a possessive adjective? So, possessive pronoun and a possessive adjective. So, basically, if we look at this sentence, this is not my pen. Here, the pronoun is used before the noun. This is describing the noun that it is used for, and therefore it is an adjective. And here in this sentence, there is no noun near the pronoun. And when there is no noun, it is a pronoun. We know very simple logic, dear students. Pronoun is used in place of a noun. So, if we are using a pronoun in place of a noun, that automatically means that there is going to be no noun in the sentence. Right? So, no noun in the sentence means that pronoun is pronoun in nature. And if in a sentence we have both a noun as well as a word like his, her, my, your, is, then that is an adjective because it is used along with a noun. So this is the difference between a pronoun and an adjective. If I give you another example, this is her house. I'm using her for the house, which is a noun. So this is an adjective. Okay. And if I say hers is a beautiful house, there is no noun that you can see alongside hers. Your hers is alone without a noun. So this is a pronoun. So with a noun, it is an adjective. Without a noun, it is a pronoun. This is the simplest rule that you have to remember, and that will help you distinguish between a pronoun as well as an adjective. Now let us look at the table, something that we have already done again. My changes to mine, your changes to yours, his remains his, and her changes to hers. Our is ourselves or ours, your is yours, and their is theirs. So this is how we change the possessive pronouns. This is how the possessive adjective is changed into a possessive pronoun. My changes to mine, your changes to yours, this is yours. His remains his, her becomes hers, our becomes ours, your becomes yours, and their becomes theirs. So this is how we change. So this, my dear students, was the possessive pronoun. Let us now look at the reflexive pronoun. So what do we mean by reflexive pronouns? Now the reflexive pronouns are basically those pronouns which, take, or rather if I say, okay, let me give you an example, and with the example we are going to understand. I am not straight away moving on to the meaning. He likes himself. She loves herself. They live here all by themselves. Now look at these sentences. He, himself. She, herself. They, themselves. So what is happening? The action of the subject are turning back to the subject itself. He changes to himself. So whatever action was being performed by my subject was returning back to the subject itself. She, herself. So again, whatever task was being performed by she, it is returning back to the subject itself. It returns back to she only. So basically, reflexive pronouns are those pronouns in which the subject or the action of the subject comes back to itself at the end of it. So he gets back himself, she gets back herself, they get back themselves, we get back ourselves, it gets back itself, and so on and so forth. So when the action of the subject comes back onto the subject itself, that is a reflexive pronoun. Let us look at some of the examples other than what I have provided you with. I injured myself. As you can see, I injured myself. So I and myself, right? You hurt yourself. You changes to, comes back in the form of yourself. We, ourselves. He enjoyed himself. They will enjoy themselves. She blamed herself for the mistake. So the subject gets back the entire action on itself. This is a reflexive pronoun. So these pronouns which always end with a self are known as reflexive pronoun only and only when they are used as the object of the word. Only and only when this myself, yourself, herself, itself, themselves, itself, when all these pronouns are going to be used with the object and are talking about the subject, then they are known as reflexive pronouns. Why did I make a mention of the object over here? You are going to learn about that later in case of emphatic pronouns. So right now, the only thing you need to remember that when my pronoun, which has a self at the end of it, is used as an object of the verb, that is, it is used along with the verb and is talking about the subject, that is known as the reflexive. How do we change? This is the table. Again, something that we have already discussed. I becomes myself, you becomes yourself, he becomes himself, she becomes herself, it becomes itself. Our becomes ourselves, you becomes yourselves, and they becomes themselves. So singular, we have self, and plural, we have selves. Okay, I hope we all understand the difference between singular as well as plural by now, right? So this is something which is clear to us. Now, let us move ahead to the next type of pronoun, which is emphatic pronoun. Now, as I told you, the self pronoun, we just discussed about the self pronoun, right? We talked about self pronouns, those which were used as the object of the verb. Those were the self pronouns, right? Emphatic pronouns also are the self pronouns. That is the reason why I said that we need to pay attention to the self word and to the fact that the reflexive pronouns are used as the object of the verb. Why did I say that? Now let us look at a few examples and then you'll be able to understand this better. So if I say, they themselves decided to go there. Or she herself took the decision of changing her job. Or I myself will look into the matter. Now, what is the difference that you notice in case of reflexive pronouns and these sentences? They has themselves, she has herself, I has myself. But what about the positioning of these pronouns? In case of a reflexive pronoun, my reflexive pronoun was used after the verb. It was the object of the verb. Here, it is used along with the subject in order to give emphasis on something, in order to lay stress on something which is very important. So, when you have to give emphasis on something, we use the emphatic pronoun. An emphatic pronoun is used immediately after the subject and not after the verb. Let me give you a clear distinction between a reflexive and an emphatic pronoun. She decided herself. Okay? An emphatic would be she herself decided. You see the difference between the two sentences? Here, herself was used as the object of my verb, and here herself was used to give emphasis on what the subject has done. If I give you another example, he went there himself. Okay? And if I give you the emphatic, he himself went there. Again, here himself came along with the verb. It was the object of the verb. And here himself was next to my subject, giving an emphasis on the subject, not on what action has been performed by the subject, but on the subject itself. So this, my dear students, is the difference between reflexive as well as an emphatic pronoun. Let us look at some examples which are given in your book. The farmer himself killed the snake. What is my subject? The farmer. This himself is used for the farmer and is giving an emphasis on what the farmer has done, right? So the farmer himself. I met the officer himself. Here I am stressing on the officer. But I met the officer himself. I did not meet anybody else but the officer. So when your pronoun is used in accordance with the subject or even the object, that is an emphatic pronoun. And when your pronoun is used as the object of a verb, it is a reflexive pronoun. Alright? So this is the difference between reflexive as well as emphatic pronoun. Fine? Let us now look at some of the questions that will help us understand the pronouns that we've learned so far. The first question says, fill in the blanks with the correct personal pronouns. There are 10 sentences in total. We will do the first 5 and the rest 5 you do on your own. The officer said to Rahul, "Why are you late again? Did not I tell you to come to office on time?" Rahul said, "I am sorry. I am late, sir. Please excuse me, Mr." These are what? These are my personal pronouns. The father said to the son, "Please take this money and put it carefully in the safe. Then come back to me and I will tell you why you must keep it careful." Okay, the next sentence. The teacher said to the monitor, "Please tell all the boys to come into the classroom immediately since I want to teach them a new lesson." If I come to the next sentence, Sam and Peter went to see the movie, but they were late, so they could not get the tickets. The girls were not late for school, but the boys were late, and the principal punished them by keeping them outside the school gate. So these were the personal pronouns, and this is how I completed my sentences. The next 5 you can do on your own. The next question is, use suitable pronouns to complete the story. So there is a story which is given to you. You are given with the pronouns. You have to choose the correct pronouns to complete the story. The children were sharing their holiday plans with their teacher, Miss Meena. She asked them where they were going for their holidays. "Well, my mum wants to go to Agra to see the Taj Mahal and Red Fort, but my dad does not like the idea. He wants to go to Goa and enjoy the sea beach," said Robert. "So, I don't know where we will go or where I will go." Continuing further. "My cousins went to Darjeeling last year and stayed there in a tea garden. They showed us their photographs. There was a factory and Yes, so there was a factory and they were allowed to see it. Okay, let us move ahead. I think the tea garden is the place for my brother and me, decided Grace. I must try to persuade. Persuade means to convince. Persuade Dad to take me there instead of some hill station where we were planning to go. Where are you going, Miss Nina? Asked the children. I am going to stay at home and rest. This has been a busy year and I need it. Alright, so this is how we completed this question. So I'm going to pause here now, dear students, and in the next class we are going to begin with the interrogative pronouns. So I'm going to pause and we'll see you soon in the next lecture. Thank you.